Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast. My name is Missy, and I'm your host. And today, I have a returning guest here for a very special, exclusive episode. We're going to talk about the new album, Self-Titled, about the show that just happened a few weeks ago, and what to be expected in the future. Music for sad people.
Thank you so much for having me back. You were the first person to give us an interview, so it feels really awesome, and I'm really honored to be back here.
And I'm honored to be able to be a part of history, man, because, in 5 years, when, who knows what's going on, things like that, or maybe probably even sooner, because you guys been blowing up, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, that's right. I was there. I got to talk to them.
Yeah, day one right here, day one.
Yes, okay. Humble beginnings, y'all. Humble beginnings. So you just did a show with Aubrey and Stereo Coat right here on the South Side at a new venue outside of Alameda Mall. Tell us about how that was.
It was, God, I didn't know how I was going to act when I got onto the stage. So I was very hands-on with everything. Music for Sad People, we did everything. So security, venue, sound, lights, finding acts, and then still rehearsing and writing new songs for it was very troubling, I would say. I learned a lot that most acts don't learn, especially in the first year, which, again, as of time of this recording, Music for Sad People is 10 months old. And that's super cool. The other day, I saw my 1 year mark of when I was in the studio recording Big Loud, and to be doing my own show, it was wow. So we sold a bunch of merch off the bat. People were walking in like, yo, I know who you are. People walking up like, hey, let's take a picture. And it was like, okay, I'm like, hey, let's do it. And then when I hit the stage and when people knew the words already, and I literally stopped singing at one point. I'm like, and I say, holy shit, y'all know this? I'm like, and it the crowd was chanting for me after Aubrey walked off, and they were going crazy. And the song Fete, we ended up releasing The Floodgates, and we let the crowd onto the stage. And then that was just an awesome moment. We had people jumping around, singing, screaming. We had roses. I was giving roses out and had people bring me flowers, and it was honestly amazing. And I will remember that night for the rest of my life for sure.
That's incredible, man. That's so wonderful to hear, man. Not just because you're a local artist or nothing like that, but because, getting that real emotion out of your fans and out of the crowd, that's such a rarity,
Yeah. And we had a lot of people there that are just super happy to be there and just to quote unquote know me. And it's when I was going to a secret group last couple of weeks before my show, and I'm just trying to advertise, and that's another thing too, marketing. I was marketing my own show. And so going there and we're just trying to market, and people were like, hey, yeah, I've already listened to you. I'm like, oh really? Okay, so what's your favorite song? And they throw an oddball out there, Stuck on You. I'm like, okay, you listened. Okay. They're I had to ask them, are you okay? If that's your favorite song, are you okay? And no, that's just something super surreal. And going around Baybrook Mall and passing out flyers, and they're like, yeah, I've seen you and I've heard about you. Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, I'm going to be there. And it's to see them actually show, which you had a lot of people say yeah, I'm gonna be there. And people bought tickets and didn't show, but we still had a really nice turnout and taking photos with everyone after the show and before the show, because I'm still running around. And I'm like, hey, make sure we have drinks over here. Hey, the back is closed. Or hey, we need to open these doors. And again, everything falls on me. So I'm having to make sure fire exits are open. We had the venue itself wasn't ready. There's still AC water puddles everywhere. And so we're having to clean up before we move the stage and before we put the lights. And so it was still just a big headache, but it's I kind of disassociated where I'm like, they actually want me, and that's just something that I still can't get over,
But that's incredible, man. I'm so glad that you guys had such a great turnout. That's awesome.
Yeah. And again, this show was basically playing the long game. We had a lot of heavy eyes in the crowd, and those heavy eyes paid off with, another show coming up, a couple more shows. So
yes, I heard you got your show coming out at Scout Bar, the infamous Scout Bar.
Yes, I'm probably not going to be the most rowdy person they've ever had, but I'm definitely more. I can definitely say I'm energetic on stage, and I will make the crowd scream, be quiet, what I want, and that's another thing. It's just like, going to Scout Bar and to know what bands have come through there, and that's like a tour destination spot. And we've been talking to the manager, and he's like, "You're gonna have everything you need. You're gonna come in, you're gonna set up, you're gonna relax." And I'm like, "Awesome, okay." So I'm gonna find myself trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? I'm like, okay, like last time I'm setting up this, and like I already have my manager doing merch. Like she's going to be solely responsible for merch, and it's going to be kind of weird for us just to kind of relax a little bit for our show after like the last one took so long and to so many different moving parts. But I gotta give a shout out to Tyler Edwards, because he's like, hey, he was there at the show. He was going crazy. He live streamed and he had over like 100 viewers.
Wonderful.
And it's like, awesome. Next time we're going to pay for that live stream. No, but shout out to him, because he wanted us to be there, and he wanted to host an event. And he's like, you're on, you're the main act. I don't want anybody else. And he's like, I want to crowd surf when Fete plays. I'm like, awesome. Thank you so much.
That's incredible, man. So let's get down to this nitty gritty. The newly released in April, self-titled album.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the thought process starting from track 1, self-titled?
So I guess to kind of prepare is, when I listen to an album, I like a story. And when you watch a movie, it's a story. You have a beginning, middle, and end. So when going into the process of self-titled, we designed this album to be played live. We don't want to have a click track be played. Like, if we can have a real person, we wanted it. So it's self-titled. It's kind of like a wrestler coming out to his own theme song, So at the live show, we have our drummer and our guitarist is the only ones out there. We have our synth player, hidden play and all that. And when the drum solo hits, you just feel like a sense of urgency. You feel like your heartbeat kind of starts racing a little bit, and walking on felt so awesome, because especially for the live show, we had a huge pop. But this song is made to grab your attention. I demand your attention. Like, you're listening to my album and you're going to sit down for the entirety of it. Like, it's music for sad people checking in, kind of. So that was kind of the process of going into that. And, obviously we wanted it to bleed very well. And the phone call at the end of self-titled that bleeds into the drive. And yeah.
Excellent. And so we're going to let you guys listen to a quick short sample of that song, so that way you can get a taste of what he was just talking about. And here we go.
I'm dreaming of you. We should stop now, before it's too late.
Okay, and so let's talk about track 2, The Drive. So what was the process behind that?
So this was the second single we released, which blew up. Well, I shouldn't say blow up, but like 13,000 streams in 24 hours for me is like blowing up. Especially because like I'm a nobody. When I was releasing it, technically I'm a nobody. Like, everyone's a somebody, but as far as the grand scheme of music and the music industry, I'm a nobody. So I wrote this song after a breakup, which this album is about a breakup, I'm gonna be honest. But this is like the post-breakup stage, where it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and just be alone. I'm gonna go out and have some fun. So this song was about lust and about feeling I don't know, alive again after being in a long dead relationship for so long. So the drive was about a girl who I had to go on a drive to go see. I had to, and the only thing we could do by the time I got there, because I worked, a 9-to-5 job, was go for a drive. We'll drive around town, listen to music, and, of course, kissing in the back of my beat up car, and all we want to do is fuck, like those are the things. And, there's the line where it's like, now I'm alone in my room and all I can do is think about you, which was true. It's like, man, I really wish I got laid. It's like, damn, like, that was a really good day. And like, so now like I'm back home playing video games and just laying in my bed watching Netflix, and, and then she would call me. So it was always calling us each other back and forth. And like, I'd stay up until like 4, be up at 7 for my job. And then it was like, finally, like, she's like, hey, how about you come in? And it was just like, and then the line, I'm finally in your room doing all the things we would. That's what it's about. It's just about lust. It's not about anything more than just, and that's why we wanted it to be a fast-paced song, and we wanted it to be so driven the drive. But we wanted it to be very fast-paced because, like a candle in the wind, it's going to go really quickly. So that's why it's not a long song. That's why it's super fast, super straight to the point, and the fans have gravitated towards that one so much. When people quote anything, it's let's go for the drive. All we want to do is fuck. Which, when I hear that out in public, when I'm walking around, it's like, I'm like, what? So that's been a fun one for the fans. And at the live show, screaming that, and with the lights, in our ending, which I actually have that ending on TikTok, it was just so nice. 'Cause I told the fans, I don't care if you know the words. I don't care if you're tired. You're going to scream when I scream. All right. And then right before that, I said, I'm going to be headlining tours all across next year. And I was calling it. And we hit that scream and having the whole crowd pop. And then like the lights going off. And I mean, I broke a vase. I popped open a beer, chugged it real fast like a stone cold. I threw it, kicked a water bottle, started punching the stage, and just all the emotion. And there's a photo on my Instagram of like the aftermath, me drenched in sweat, because those lights are so hot.
Yes.
But and then immediately after the drive, that was when a couple heads are like, he knows how to put on a show, because as it's the first song after self-titled, that is my ender. I cannot end it any other way. And that's what's led me to Scout Bar and magazines that I'm doing pieces for that I actually did today, and like a live session I have coming up next month. So that song has done so much for me. It's insane. Like, it's no longer #1 streamed. The next one we're about to talk about is just surpassed, which is one of my favorites. But the song got me ahead of the curve, and it honestly, I'm so happy, So yeah.
And I like that. Yeah, it's a very relatable thing, and the delivery that you gave it, of course, makes it, easy for the audience to listen to. So right now we're going to play you guys a sample of the drive so you can see if you can find your own relation to that song. We'll be right back.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
I think you stole my heart. Kissing in the back of my beat-up car. Your face looks so nice as it hits this light. I say, we don't need to rush this love. We're almost out of time, she said. But you're almost naked. You're almost naked. I'm already late to dropping you off, and all we wanna do is fuck. We're almost naked. We're almost naked.
So your next track we're going to talk about, the one that you said has now reached the most streams, Big Loud.
Yeah. So there's 2 versions of Big Loud. Actually, there's about 20 different versions that are unreleased. But
Oh my goodness.
so the single version is, has a prime place in my heart, but it's also not the song I wanted to release. But it was an introduction. Here's what I can do. I'm not like anybody else. So the album version, when me and my friend who was helping me write it, when he hit that guitar lick, and it's like, that's it. This is what it was. And it's a dance song. I mean, when I walked off stage to get an encore reaction, they were chanting Big Loud. And they're like, Big Loud, Big Loud. My manager's telling me, like, she had girls coming up to her like, if he doesn't play Big Loud, I will kill him. And I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, hey, like, you ever been to a gig? Like, hey, if I say it's the last song, it's not the last song. All right.
Right.
So like, we had people had people on the left chanting one more song, people on the right, Big Loud. And it's like, dude, I still got like 3 more songs. So it was like, it was really awesome when we finally got it. And like even the mix, because we did get into a time crunch, it's still a live mix and it's still not kind of finalized. And it's like, it's nice knowing, like, I do wish this was the version we released first off, but I mean, we kind of saved the best for the album. And hearing it and feeling it, like you listen to it, the first version, you're just kind of nodding your head, and the next one, you're for some odd reason want to move your hips, you want to move your shoulders, you want to groove to it. And the song is about it's about the beginning stages of a breakup. So Big Loud, me and my friend, I was in a very intense, serious relationship that was going nowhere, and it was very controlling. And when we play games, he would always hear her through the mic or on the phone, just yelling. You just hear it. And he goes, dude, I wish you would just kind of settle down, be quiet. Like right now, she's big loud. I need her small quiet. I go, dude, I need the same. And so it kind of became a joke when she would be yelling at me. I'm like, okay, you're being big loud right now. Just be small quiet. Small quiet. All right. You're talking like you're up here. And again, like when you're in an argument that's that heated, if you're raising your voice, because you can be in an argument and still talk at the tones you and I are talking about. But then there's the yelling. I'm not going to listen to you. You're not going to listen to me. Whoever's going to win is going to be the loudest. Doesn't mean they're the person that's right. And, we are working on music videos for all the singles that we've put out. And the best representation I can say is words do hurt. Society says guys are supposed to be thick-skinned, be tough, all that. But, like words can hurt and it can haunt you and it can leave mental bruises that are, I just wish you, threw pants and stuff, which did happen, stuff did get thrown, at me and, the words that kind of followed it, it was just like, well, shit, that kind of hurt, cause the person that your partner is always knows how to get to you. And if they do that, leave. Don't try to make something last. And that's what the song is about. It's, it's a very upbeat, happy song, but the lyrics are very much like, yeah, like this isn't healthy. The aesthetics, like my look, like you're no longer physically attracted to me. You hate me. You're controlling. You're doing all these things. You hate almost everything about me. So it's like, why are you with me? And me being dumb, I didn't see the signs that got earlier, but being after that, I kind of just had an epiphany. It's like, yeah, this is what this was about. Because before this, it was called the Calendar Song, and it was a different thing, different subject, but it kind of just like what I wanted my first song to be is I wanted to be the recovery, I guess, like the phoenix rising from, the relationship burning. And it's like, I need this for my own clarity. And that's why I released it.
I like that. And from what you explained to me, like in listening back to it, the interpretation that I got is kind of, it's like how you see people smiling. That doesn't mean they're happy, And I like how you use that kind of metaphor. You give it that upbeat tune, but it has that underlying message behind it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to let you guys listen to a sample of Big Loud right now, and make sure your speakers are up. All right? And we'll be right back.
Big loud, these sexy music have the effect
to capture a lovely eye.
every text. Should've saw this coming.
But didn't want to.
I probably should let pretty girls on the walls.
All right, now let's talk about your next track, I Wish I Could. So what was the process behind that one?
So I Wish I Can Go On Without You is one, a very long title. It's when you're in a breakup, and even though you could have hated that person, you're still in a weird state of mind. I never mentioned wanting to get back with somebody in that song. And I do that for a very particular reason. Now, I've had multiple versions of this. I mean, there's multiple versions of each song on this, but this one was the very much like hard hitting. So I Wish I Can Go On Without You is a very much, you hear the bar setting, you're kind of already diving into the mental state of he's drinking, he's upset, he's in his feelings. So it's about moving on, but not knowing how. You finally got what you wanted. How do you start? I wish I can go on without you. And it's more like, I wish I knew where to start. So I say things like, you know, I have found a dress you've left. How's your smell? I want to kill myself to make you regret. My mother hates you now. My brother hates you. Everyone's scared from mental health. But, you know, I was in a very bad mental state when I wrote that. And, you know, kind of looking back on it, like I didn't want to change any of the emotion that I was thinking about. And it was the third single we released. It was kind of showing the dynamics were not just all up, beat, beat, beat. Here's a nice melody here. Because there's no chorus to I Wish I Could Go On. It kind of just flows. And we use the guitar, the slide guitar. And it's definitely Midwest folk emo. And there's no other way. I wanted to do an electric version of the song, but the way the acoustic is in this, I can't. Like the electric idea I have will be for a different song later on down the line. But with this one, it was kind of just picking yourself up and trying to figure out what's the first step you take. And for me, it was music. And a lot of people don't have that. So I wanted to write things in that where it's like, if you don't know, it's okay. Take your time. Be sad for a little bit. Cry a little bit. No one can tell you how long it'll take. For me, it took up until my relationship ended in January, and I found a new one in July. I took my time, and I wasn't looking. And that person that I'm with now has pretty much saved me because I went through some other stuff, which I'll explain in a different song. But yeah, I Wish I Could is about picking yourself up from a breakup.
And, you know, most of us have been there, or we at least know what it's like to have loved and lost, you know, but you got to keep going. So we're going to let you guys listen to the sample now of I Wish I Could Go On Without You, and we'll be right back.
I wish I could go on without you. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw you. I want to overdose on your dress that you had left. I wish I could go on without you. I spend too much time alone. I wish you picked up your damn phone. My mother says that she hates you now. I wish I could go on without you.
And so your next track, No One Can Change Her. What was the process behind that song?
Oh, so No One Could Change Her is very much about catching your partner cheating, or at least flirting. So yeah, start off with, hey, love, who are you texting? You said it wasn't on purpose, but you had a purpose when you text them, and then you lied to me about it. So that person I was with literally can be caught on video and say, that's not me. No, that's not that. I didn't do that. And it's like, look at your phone. I screenshot and send it to myself from your phone. Like, dude, stop lying. You're caught. Mm-hmm. We can talk this out. And, you know, that's why I'm like, well, damn, like I knew who you were before. You changed a little bit, but then you reverted back. And, you know, the line, no one can change her. You know, whoever follows up behind me next, hey, good luck. I don't wish for my ex to be miserable her whole life. I don't wish for her future partners to deal with what I dealt with. That's just unfair. So, but this is my encounter. So, if she wants to talk about having a semi-famous ex, they're going to know that some of these songs are about her. But yeah, and that's, another line in there is a recovery line. It's, hey, you're my first. You're the first that stuck around. We did a lot of things together, but you're going to be the first I forget because you were the worst. It doesn't mean necessarily like just because they were your first, don't be hung up on them. I believe if you truly, truly love someone, you'll work things out. If it doesn't work out, it wasn't meant to be, and you have to accept that. And that was my line of this recovery. And then that's why like we just kind of punch in the way my guitarist Brian revs up going into that solo, which, we opened up with No One Can Change Her after self-titled for the show. It was just the perfect song, and he kills it. And it's very chantable. It's very the lyrics are super easy, and like people knew this one. And I'm like, awesome. Man, I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, oh man, I wish I prepared myself to practice, because I practiced in the shower. I practiced in my driveway. My future mother-in-law would always walk out, and she would see me dance around like a fool because I have headphones in, and it's to No One Can Change Her. And then she's like, wow, you performed that exactly how you did in the driveway. And so the song is like, it's fun. It's fun now. When I first wrote it, it wasn't fun. Making it was super fun. Playing it live is even more fun with people knowing it. And I now have a lot of great memories with it. And, it wasn't a single. It was a sleep. I purposely made this a sleeper for the album. And, people will attach themselves to the sleeper songs. They're not the singles. And that was one of them. And again, I had people quote me saying, No One Can Change Her. She's the worst. Hey, who are you texting? That's something that will pop up just in my friend group. So it's a lovely song, and it's done a lot for me.
And that one is too very relatable, to a lot of people, not just the fans, because we all been there. Okay. Now we're going to let you listen to a sample of No One Can Change Her, and we'll be right back.
Hey love, who are you texting? Seems you're falling for another. Guess there's nothing that I can do. She says it wasn't on purpose, but you had a purpose when you texted him and lied about it. But no one can change her. And no one can change her.
All right. Now, this next track, I know I'm not going to say it right because I think these next two that we're going to talk about are in French, but I'm going to try. So, La Chanson d'amour.
You did perfect.
Oh,
Don't even
hey.
worry about that. So that translates to the love song. So this song I wrote, the person I am with, she helped me get through my mother's death. So, she was there every step of the way, and I couldn't sleep a lot of the nights. And the song, so like for me, it was pure emotion. It's like, I can't sleep, so I'll want you at peace. I am feeling nothing but hurt and pain and despair, but I just feel you. Somehow, some way I feel you. And it was like, for me, knowing that somebody's actually the one, because it's like, that's something hard, because we were fresh into our relationship. We were both still baby faces, and still are, but we feel kind of withered after the passing of my mother. And she was with me through the, hey, she's only going to be in here for a day. We'll release her tomorrow. Hey, we're having some issues. We want to keep her for evaluation. Hey, we need to kind of put her into a medically induced coma. She's having panic attacks. She can't breathe right. We're going to put her on a ventilator. And then hey, it's only going to be a week. Hey, it's going to be 2 weeks. It's going to be a month. Hey, her quality of life isn't going to be too well, but she's going to make it through. Hey, she's gone blind. Hey, and then she's blown up like a balloon, and watching the decay of a loved one is the worst feeling. The pain that even I write about that you'll hear on, in future songs, I don't know how to kind of express that. But, there was somebody who, because I'm not going to lie, Crown was my best friend. My best friend abandoned me, so Crown became my best friend. So when I'm drinking heavily, because, everyone around me is like, yeah, you got to grieve. And seeing the decay and getting the promises keep getting broken, she made sure I got up. I went to work. I worked on this damn album. I, got in the shower, cleaned up, stayed sober for most of the day, and then, took care of me. Like when I'm too drunk to get myself food because all I did was drink whiskey, she made sure to make me food. And this song is the love song. It's the only love song on the whole record, and it's a naive track. Being in love is kind of a cliche because you can't write. Everyone that you've heard sing about love songs use a lot of the same words. So, like, one, I wanted to title in French because I wanted to be different. She's different than anybody else. Nobody else would have done that for me. So I wanted to be different. And so writing about the feelings was just like, hope I'm the lucky one. When I fell, I didn't fall. I jumped. And when I landed, I decided to stay at peace, which I finally found peace. And, she's helped me through the show. She's told me, you're meant to be on stage. You're meant to be in music. And she manages me. She helps me through everything. And so this track for her is the way I can kind of immortalize what she's done for me. And, again, when I say stay at peace, we've had rough times where it's like, man, we're having issues with the show. We're having issues with our shirt machine. We're having issues with the car or whatever. It's like, there's no death in that. It's just like, yes, there's going to be some hiccups, but it's fine. We'll work through it. We're a team. We're a tag team. And we have proven that we can go through anything. And, when I wrote that song, we had just found the news that she's going to be gone within a couple of days. So, I'm staying up to make sure I hear my phone ring and trying to distract myself from going insane. I had wrote that song in one sit down. No, nothing was added. We didn't change in the studio. If it didn't sound quite right, I wanted to leave it in because this was a very important song. And when I wrote it with that emotion, I left it alone after that.
Yeah, because you really put that raw nature into it. And you could tell, obviously you can tell it was well produced, but that's not the point. The point is that it was just pure raw emotion coming out. And before I start losing my wig over here, kind of saying, we're going to let you listen to, I'm going to try to say this right again, La Chanson de Amor.
Awesome. Right? You even had the tongue roll in there.
Yes.
Awesome.
We'll be right back after we let y'all listen to this sample.
I like the way your face looks
While you're sleeping,
I like the way your name looks
next to mine,
I like our silly talks
all of our talks.
I hope you know that I'm the lucky one. I hope you know that I'm the fool. Because when I fell, I jumped in. When I landed, I decided not to get up and stay at peace.
And your next song, Fete. So what was the process behind that song?
Well, this is about, I guess this is the only non-breakup song on the album or not love song. So this is about a party in Friendswood. Friendswood, for people on the outside world, this is the suburbs. This is where all the preppy kids are. All the adults from Friendswood are awesome, but people who are my age, I'm 22, are assholes, dickheads, whatever you want to say about them. So Fete Party, God, there's so many different versions of this song. So when we at first started making the sample, everyone's like, with the lyrics, like, damn, this is depressing. I want to make it a dance tune. So there was a girl that was there. It's always about a girl, right? She was there, and she was like, hey, you coming to the party? Like, yeah, I'm waiting for my ride. I didn't have a car at the time. Waiting for my ride. I'm waiting for him to come get me. And there was a guy there. Him and I fist fought. I won. I'm putting that out there. All right, if you want a rematch, we'll get Dana White involved and we'll make it official. But no, we got into a fight and he left. We're still there. We're partying. Nobody likes me. It's okay. I'm the outcast. I'm the guy from Pasadena. Everyone here's from Friendswood. And when the music's playing, it's a fun time. And then the girl that was there ended up leaving, and she had a horrible mental state. And, she's saying things like she's going to slit her wrist. She's depressed. She feels like no one wants her. And it's like, no, I'm here because of you. I don't like these people. You left early. So it was like, I'm trying to be there for somebody, be at this party. My brother got into a fight with somebody. And I mean, he deserved it. He was hitting on some other dude's girl, and don't do that. Like, don't do that. And like, when you get caught, don't keep going.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. And he was being that guy. So, we had that. And then it's like, at that party, we had stolen a bunch of sugar cookies, right? Because there was like a little Halloween party, but there were sugar cookies. We took the whole tray. And like, we had to park a little bit away. So like, when the party kind of turned against us, just imagine me, with a Justin Bieber haircut and, running down the street with a platter of sugar cookies while dealing with the mental decay of a girl that I had interest in. And it was a horrible night because we got a speeding ticket on his birthday. I ended up like stepping in dog crap on a pair of really nice shoes. And I'm like, they're ruined. No. They're ruined because it was white. It was pure white. I had forgot to brush my teeth, so I was always so self-conscious. He forgot deodorant. He had an asthma attack while we were there.
Oh my God.
And this wasn't a good night at all. And so to write about it and in the moment, we were so embarrassed. It was like, man, like, I'm going to have a bad reputation. I fought a guy. You got into a fight. We took their cookies. And I think that's what they were most upset about, was we took all the cookies. And man, we ate them all too. We ate them all. Like, we ate every single one of them within like probably an hour. So we were on a sugar high. So we started acting crazy. And my mom, rest her soul, had to deal with us when we got back. So like, it being, a dance tune, and it does talk about depressing matters. It's so nice to kind of look back on some embarrassing memories and just laugh about it. Cause like, man, that was character developing. And so for this one at the show, we noticed the fans were kind of scattered. Like, it was a good turnout, but it was an open space. We'd had no like set area. I opened the floodgate. I took down the barrier and I said, everyone, come on. We're about to have a party. And we're all dancing. We all were vibing. Nobody knew each other. And we were all just getting along for some good tunes. And since doing that, it has jumped up almost 1,000 streams on Spotify since that night. Which I think when we're recording this, the show had happened about 10 days ago. So that's really nice. And we've gotten a bunch more streamers too, because we had a lot of new faces there. So that song, again, it was a gem, wasn't a single. It came out, people listened to it, and they're like, man, hey, I really like Feet. I'm like, do you now? Like, oh, well, the song that's on your album. I'm like, Fete. Oh no, it's not Feet. I go, and I'm like, okay, so from now on, team, we need to make sure that we go through the name process and everyone approves, and we cannot call it Feet.
No.
But no, it's become a meme where people will message me like, hey, I love Feet. And it's turned into its own thing. And another thing, it's like, it's funny because this meme that's forming, it's getting attention, but it's also of a horrible night. So it's like, it's something, it's horrible. Like, people coming up to you, hey, my favorite song's Feet, man. Is it? You like Feet? Okay. Didn't even know that. And it took a couple times. I'm like, you're talking about the song. Okay. Oh, that's a whole different ball game. I'm like, man, we just met and you're telling me that. No judgment here, man. Not my cup of tea, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's evolving into its own thing. And I mean, it's a genuine fan reaction. And that's going to be something that's going to stick with the whole career of music for sad people. I can't wait from 5 years from now when we have the old fans fighting the new fans. Like, dude, were you there during the feet days? Were you there when he was on stage and people are chanting for feet? Were you there? Were you there? Like, I hear it now and I can't wait, but I know it's going to be so annoying when it comes.
You know you've made it, or one of your songs or one of your pieces of art have made it when there's a meme about it.
Exactly. And I mean, one of my friends, he messaged me. He's like, dude, I'm thinking about doing a feet collage to Fete. I go, if you do that, and I know about it and I find it, I'm coming for you. Right. There's gonna be nothing holding me back. The only fear between you and me will be atmosphere, okay? Like, I cut a whole promo on him saying, like, if you do this, like, if it's some other fan, I can't do nothing about it, but you're in the circle. You're in here. You know how to get to me. So, but no, I love him to death. And yeah, it's a meme, and people legitimately enjoy it and love it. And when that song played, everyone's screaming, because that opening guitar, people just screamed and started. I couldn't open it fast enough, so like people like were trying to push me back and say, like, get back up there. But yeah.
Well, that's wonderful that you got that response, man. And I'll be looking forward to getting my official feet T-shirt as soon as it comes out. Okay. And I will wear it with pride. All right, guys. Well, we're going to let you listen to Fete now, and we will be right back. All right. So the next song we were going to talk about is Stuck on You. So walk us through that one.
It's a very synth and piano filled track, and very minimal edits were done for this. So Stuck on You, it's very much being stuck on someone. And, you know, I'm not angry in this song. I say things like, I hope he protects you. You know, I hope you don't move on too soon. You know, like, I just hope I had that impact. And, you know, it's me being okay kind of with it. And it's just like, well, you know, I had written this song years ago, but I didn't know the words to put to it. And it was kind of just something I kept in my back pocket, and finally figured out it's stuck on you. You know, I'm stuck on someone, but it's not in the ways you think. I'm stuck on the person I thought you were. And that's a lot of people when you're going through a breakup. It's you broke up because you didn't want to be with the person you were with, but you fell for somebody else. And I mean, shit happens. And I mean, I know I'm talking a lot of shit, but I'm equally to blame. You know, I am, at least I like to think I'm grown enough to admit, hey, takes two to tango, takes two to be in a relationship. And, you know, I'm at fault too. So, you know, Stuck on You is kind of just writing about just kind of letting you go a little bit. And each day getting a little bit better. And, you know, it's asking yourself the questions like, is there somebody with that person right now? Are they alone? I'm alone right now. Or is she alone? And even though you don't want her in your bed or to be in their bed or whoever you're maybe going through a breakup with right now, you know, it's just like, did they move on? Like, were you even important to them? And, those are questions you shouldn't ask and they're not healthy, but you're going to ask them. So I wanted to make a song. It's like, here's my thoughts. And, maybe somebody that's younger than me or older or whoever needs to hear it and be okay. And this is another one of the songs that was a sleeper. We kept it just for the album and hasn't gotten too much attention until the show because people listen to it. And we had a weird rendition of it on stage because, again, it's an oddly timed song. We come in at odd times. So I was able to put a different performance and tone to it, kind of like MCR with Cancer. It's always different every single time. And, you can't write a song like that, and people have really resonated. And when people tell me like, hey, this is my favorite song, I do ask, are they okay? But then also it's like, thank you. This is, I put heart into this. I actually started tearing up in the studio because it's like remembering some old feelings. It's like, as I moved on, it's like I put that passion into it and hearing it and just singing it, you just kind of get a weird feeling. So, stuck on you is being stuck on somebody, but let them go at the same time.
Yeah. Sometimes, when you care about somebody or you care about yourself because they don't care about you, you just got to let it go. You just got to let it go.
Almost definitely.
So we're going to let you guys listen to a sample of Stuck on You, and we'll be right back.
I loved you more before. We should talk more. We were lovers. Can we be friends? Let's grab lunch. If you don't, then that's okay. I will be another stuck on you.
And so your next track, By Your Side.
Yeah. So this one, we have written the chords in 2018 and obviously it's on a 2022 record. So I thought I knew about pain before, and then just my last year, I had lost a lot. And By Your Side it's a weird track. So I don't end it on the most epic song, because I consider this the last track because outro. That's it. It's over. Go home. So By Your Side kind of being the thing that starts gathering the kids and closing up for the day was very important. It's an acoustic song and you feel it's a very warm song listening to it. But those first couple chords, to me, it almost feels iconic, like other songs you're about to cry to. We weren't going into it to write like, hey, you play one chord of it, you know what it is. But it's become that. So it's very raw, very minimal mixing on this one because that's how we wanted it. My guitarist, Brian, killed it. Even though there's a lot of breathing on the track, from him breathing as hard as he can, it's become more of a joke in between us. It's like, hey, we want a clothespin for the show, bud? Hey, make sure all the mics are facing the other direction from this guy, right? He's like Superman with his breath, like, So, but it also added a different element, and we decided to keep it. So I open up with being in the middle of a fight, and you kind of know it's coming. And the song talks about a promise that you make when you're with somebody to never leave, to always be by their side. And as again, takes two for a relationship, the other person most definitely hates my guts. Even though I know they see my streams, they cause some issues and stuff like that, on their own end, they have a lot of issues. And I've gotten through mine. Writing this song was, if you call, I'll answer quick because I made you the promise to be by your side. And if you call, or if I called you and you didn't pick up, I'd be crying because it's like, when people need people, That's rare. So, you to even admit you need help. So, that's kind of like a breaking of a promise, this song is. And it's being okay with the fact that some people will never repay the same favors you give. Because when you go in to help somebody, never think of it like, would they do it for me? Probably not. But that's why you're here. Right? There's people like you, because the world would no longer go around if there weren't for people that will sacrifice and respect nothing in return. As a kid watching superhero movies, that's what it was all about. The hero. I mean, I watched Spider-Man. That dude was a loser, right? He saved a day and didn't even get the girl. And I'm like, dang. Like, I was rooting for that guy. But then growing up, and it's just like, people will come and go from my life. And, my parents, my dad and my mom raised me to always be the one to step up. Because, life isn't easy. Life isn't fair. And some people have it easier than others. And be there for people. So when I wrote that song, even though it's a breakup song, even though it's being done with somebody, if you need me, I'll always be here, because I'll never not be by your side.
And that is one that I can relate to the most, probably, out of all of that, because Lord, if I had a nickel, oh honey, we ain't gonna. But anyway, we're gonna listen to a sample of By Your Side, and we'll be right back.
And we're here, we're at the edge again. I drank 4 of the 6 bottles I bought an hour ago. I say I don't like fighting with you. I hate your face when you say those things about me. And when we're gray and old and all washed up, play the song to remind yourself and why we fell in love.
So for the conclusion, the final ending, we have your outro and thank you track.
So with the intro, with the beginning of a book must have an ending. So if you hear the song, I am quoting back to all different lyrics from the whole album. And it's titled Outro Thank You for a very certain reason. You took the time to listen to me. That's why I only wanted to be 10 songs. It's a little over half an hour. I think it's 37 minutes and 8 seconds. And it's not a lot of time, but time, you never get time back. And if you chose to listen to me sing about my issues and related to it, thank you. Thank you for listening. I love you with all my heart. And people who have bought the album, like yourself, people who've bought shirts and quote back, they listen to the whole album. And I can see when the stream count goes up on outro, because it's not a song you listen to by itself, like self-titled. That's a song you can listen to by itself. You don't need to listen into an order. Outro is when you're listening to the album itself. So every time you listen to that album beginning to end, thank you. You're special to me, even though if I don't know your name. And I have 5.5 thousand monthly listeners. I don't know all their names, coming from 67 different countries. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day, your life, your week. And you may forget my name, or I may blow up, 20 times what I am now. And, you may always remember me, but, even if I died tomorrow, this album is still immortalized me. And every time I listen to it, thank you. And, there's not much left to say. It quotes back, it's an ending, and, that's just music for sad people checking out.
And I'm glad that you mentioned about how, that is a thank you to the fans and to the listeners for listening to the whole album. because now that we're in the day and age of streaming and downloading individual tracks and things, you feel like it seems like a rarity to get people to talk about, oh, I heard this album. You usually hear people saying, oh, I heard this song.
Yes. And like that, I mean, in the music industry, you have to adapt. And yes, I would very much love to not have my face on the album cover. I would very much love not have to market. I would love just for someone to come to a gig and discover me, and then boom, that's it. I would love to not release any singles, just release an album and know it's going to do well. You know, like Led Zeppelin 4, like they didn't release nothing. They kept that tight net. They didn't even put their name on the album cover, which I took inspiration for with, you know, our album cover is just self-titled. People who are going to buy are going to know us. And it's, to me, artwork. Artwork is so important for album covers. It draws you to it. You pick it up. And we avoided putting the set list on the back because it's like, hey, you listen to it. You don't know how many songs are on there. And it's like a gem. Like, I love going to thrift stores and just finding albums I've never heard of before. Next thing you know, I'm like, hey, like, this is pretty good. Like, I discovered a band called The Postal Service, which was members from Death Cab of Cutie. They dropped one album and like they have decent streams. It's like, wow, like I found this in a thrift store. Now they're in my playlist. Or like bands like The Format, which was, if you know who Nate Ruess is, but you probably know who Fun was, because everyone who Fun was in 2009. You know, he was part of a band called The Format who only put out 2 albums. And it's like, wow, they, you know, those are gems. And to listen to those and to hear the rawness, and again, like an album. Like, you have artists who put out singles and then like, okay, that's just an album because I put out 20 singles and they're all #1 hits. That's not an album. You know, an album is emotional roller coaster, which is what this album is, and very much emotional roller coaster. We start high and self-titled, The Drive, Big Loud, then we go down to Wish I Could, you know, and, you know, that it's a story. You have acts. You have 3 acts to every good story. And, you know, I wanted to say something to the fans. Like, this song isn't, I mean, nobody else would know this song except for you right now. And, you know, like I had people tell me that it flowed very well, and that the outro, you felt the ending is like a movie. You felt the ending and you felt happy with it. So.
And on that conclusion, we are going to let you listen to a sample now of Outro and Thank You, and we will be right back. So there's been discussion on the last time you were here with us about possibly making a deluxe version of the self-titled album.
Yes. So we had a goal that was kind of tight net to the chest on what we wanted to hit. You know, so like 21 Pilots is probably the best one I could put. They had albums out before they made it big. And so that's what a lot of fans talk about, is like where you hear during these days. But we're in a day and age where, you know, they were before Spotify, before YouTube Music, before Pandora. You know, they were making albums before then, so you had to buy them in record stores or know about them. So like we're very much on stage, and I would love to kind of average, you know, 10,000 monthly listeners before doing bigger and better things. So we told ourselves, if this can somehow hit 500,000 streams, we'll do a deluxe. And by golly, we are inching towards that. SoundCloud is our biggest streaming market. Right now, I believe we're at 315,000, and we are at 100,000 on Spotify. So we are very much nearing. And so I feel comfortable. We're in a spot where, you know, even if I only stream the album myself from here on out, we'll get there. So we are announcing the deluxe. We're going to have the demo versions of each song. We're going to have the single version of Big Loud on there because that, is still a fan favorite. And we're going to have 2 songs that weren't, that were supposed to be on the record, but we ran out of time and, ran out of patience on them. So, and then we're going to have, so during the live show, we had a song called What's That Sound? So after we walked off, it's Big Loud, but without the instruments.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's something we're going to have on there as well because we debuted it there. And, it's something so simple and, it adds to it, but it's fun. And like people are like, hey, like, what was that song called? It's like, what's that sound? Like I'm wearing the concert tee right now and it says on there, like, wait, everyone was walking up before the show, like, what's that? Is that Big Loud? Wait, but Big Loud's under it. What's going on? So, and then we're going to have, the 2 new ones and, the names are I Wanna, which we're going to be playing. And then we have one called The Calendar Song, which is Big Loud before it was Big Loud.
Excellent. And so you were just talking about it. You're going to be releasing one of your demo songs. We're going to play a sample after this called I Wanna. So what was the process behind that demo?
I Wanna is angry. It is about being angry. I love my country with all my heart. I've had, I come from a military background. So like my grandparents came here, they fought, they served. And the song isn't about being on the left, it isn't about being on the right. It's not pro this, anti this. It's about being anti-government. I love my country, but I hate my government. And with things that are going on today, we all agree. Like we hate working our tails off to, spend $100 at the gas pump. We hate having to go to war. Nobody likes war. Nobody likes riots. Nobody likes these things. And it hurts the community so much. And again, this is just about being angry. It's not pushing any political belief that I have on someone else who's a fan it's not about that. It's about just coming together and be like, yeah, we're angry. I want to be heard. I want to be somebody. And, we couldn't come up with a title. We were originally going to call it Love My Country, Hate My Government, but that's a little bit too on the nose. A little too much against, it's too much on the Rage Against the Machine side. Yeah. But it was just like, I want things to be better. We all want things to be better. So we can all kind of agree to that. And it's kind of weird. Like, you're in the medium. Some people still disagree. It's like, no, my way or the highway. But this song is just about unity and, being young and growing up, but also thinking I have a head on my shoulders and just like, I just want things to be better. This isn't how it was when I grew up. So this is what I want.
And on that note, we're going to let you listen now to a sample of the demo, I Wanna, and we'll be right back.
You can see police here now firing tear gas into the crowd.
The nation erupted into scenes of chaos, violence, and widespread destruction into the early morning hours. Dozens of American cities up in flames after some protests turned into riots.
All right. And so finally, drum roll, there is a new album in the works. How's that going?
It is happening. So we played a lot of new songs at the show that are going to be on this next record. Songs like When I Think of the Complexity of Death, My Heart Begins to Ache, Homeschool Kid, Repeat Yesterday, and a couple others that I'm blanking on right now. But so the next, I guess I'm going to start with the name of it. Sounds from the Car That's Parked Outside. The idea to the name of this is you are an outsider. You like my music for a reason. You're an outsider to some culture. You're in your car listening to it. And like, again, it's not like I'm making music to drive to or anything. It's, that's the day and age. People used to go for walks and have their Walkman listening to it or their giant CD player on their head. Now it's driving. People drive, listen to music all the time. Like you're swiping through dating apps. That's what you see. Like, let's go on drives, listen to music. So this is for the people who just park their car, listen, long day after work. So that's kind of the meaning to the title. I'm going to announce a round number that we're going to have. So it's going to be around 20 songs, give or take. Kind of just depends on how things go. Depends on how the album fits and flows. But we've at the end of our show, we had a little bit of a glitch happen to our logo. No, it's a purpose glitch.
Oh.
So basically, we have the logo that we have now that I rep so proudly, and it glitched to the new one. And everyone's like, "What is that?" And it's like, that's the new era. We're teasing it a little bit. We still have some things we gotta get done on this one, like Deluxe. We gotta get that out. We're doing music videos almost a year later, but we're doing music videos just to kind of have it. Which, again, we're really proud of, and we have more shows. We're still going to campaign the shit out of this album. And for the listeners, if you haven't listened, go listen, please. Like, there's a reason why we do have a little bit of a following, so come check us out. And if you are a fan, have you shared it to your new friend yet? Anything and everything helps still. We're still very much in the early stage where we are still learning, still processing, but this next album, I can make a few promises that it goes harder, but it's not a sequel. It's a part 2, right? Self-titled is a very short album. This one makes up for the shortness of the first album while it being an album itself. So it is definitely a part 2. And things go well, we can do the trilogy, which is the plan. But again, when you go into this, it's part 2, but it's going to be cleaner. We have no set time frame. That's the thing. So if you want it to come sooner, help share, come to shows. I'm not asking you to, spend your hard-earned money on my merch, but share it, play it, stream it, put it in a playlist, share it. Like I can't keep not saying share it. If you like it, share it. Or hey, if you only listen to rap or country, but you have that alternative friend with the gauges, send it to them. All right. This is how local music, and again, Houston's predominantly rap, or we do have the few country guys come through. Let's get Houston on the alternative scene. All right. We haven't had anybody since Pantera that came through that was more rock, So I'm not saying it should be me, but I'm not saying it should not be me, I definitely, again, this isn't, how can I say this? It's mental health. I wear the slashes. The slashes represent people who have taken their life. This is for the mass people. And again, just if you want the album to come out sooner, if you believe in what I'm doing, share it, help us grow. And you may think your one share doesn't do anything. I still see it. I still see the shares. I have my likes turned on Instagram, even though I sometimes get 700 likes or 200 likes. I still get my phone blown up, and every time I make a post and I see that, I glow. There's no separation. There's no team operating my Instagram. All right, it is me. You message, guarantee it's going to be me or our other member, Angel, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but it's one of us. You're talking to Music for Sad People. You're not talking to somebody who's the social media manager only, who goes through and when a post, we all approve it, and it's us. We're very much approachable, and that's what a lot of people have been surprised about, of how approachable we are. They look at our numbers, and to me, they're not, I guess, super impressive. But when you're nobody and you put your song out and you only gets 40 streams for a year, it is something. So people are we're really happy to be here, and when you talk to them. So again, we're approachable. You want to message us, you had a bad day or something, hey, feel free to message us. You like a song, tell us what song you like, but yeah, we are working hard for the next album, and we can't wait. I can't wait. It's super cool. And we're changing our style, we're changing our logo, we're changing haircuts, we're changing what we do, how we say things. And again, it's a part 2, and it's going to be more theatrics. I mean, again, it's the next album, next phase, but we do have some things we got to get finished first.
And we are all so excited and anticipating the new album, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing in depth about the self-titled album and how everything is coming along, man.
Thank you for having me. Again, you're one of the first people to take a chance I mean, that wasn't in my circle. So you were the first to do an interview, and you allowed us to do this episode today. And hey, reoccurring guest right here, right? Like, so I'm just thankful that you said, let's do another episode. Let's go into this. So thank you.
No, the pleasure is all mine, man, because the short answer is I know what it's like to be overlooked, and I think it's ghetto, and that's not what we do here. I have class, and so classy people give opportunities when they see pretty things and wonderful things. Yes,
yeah, you're very classy, and again, if y'all have yet to follow Missy and the Houston Element podcast, I know you have a Spotify, I know you have an Instagram, and I know you have a YouTube. If you don't, download those, subscribe, like, share. I gave you a plug-in on your own episode.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. And y'all, I know you'd be following. I know you'd be listening. But you need to be supporting this man and the wonderful things that he's doing, okay? The management team, the instrumentalist, everybody, the engineer, Jonathan Jeffers, need to show some love. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this week, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.